Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Well, my guest today is a recording artist, and I know there's more to her than that, but that's where we're going to start. I'd like to welcome to the show, Cat Levan. Welcome, Levan. Levan or Levan? What did I say?
Levan, like Le Car, Le Truck, Levan.
Great. So welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be on here, and then good to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too. And I think it was Joanne Dennis who suggested I interview you. So that's really great. So tell me about being a recording artist. Like, when did you start?
Well, I've always been a singer, but a couple of years ago, someone said, you have a pretty good voice. You should record yourself. And so I thought, okay. And I decided to give it a go. And I was introduced to a really excellent producer out of California called Steve Oliver. And he said, well, okay, come down and bring a bunch of songs and come down. Mm-hmm. And so then I decided, okay, fine. And I started with a bunch of cover tunes. And he just, I handed him the list of cover tunes, and he goes like, well, these aren't originals, they're cover tunes. And he flipped the list in the air and says, nope, we're writing songs. That's all there is to it. So right on the spot, I ended up being not only a recording artist, but also an author.
How awesome is that?
I know.
That is really, it's interesting the doors that can open, right?
I would never have thought that would have happened. And what was really crazy about that is that once I released my album, one of the songs made it to the #2 vocal jazz song on the Billboard charts.
Oh, nice.
I was so surprised.
Oh, how nice though. I mean, it just reaffirms for you that you're doing what you're supposed to do, right?
Well, yeah, and I've always sung just for my own joy, mm-hmm. But I also realized at some point I wanted to share that. I wanted to share how I feel about certain topics and subjects and songs, and it's been a really great thing for me, a really growth-inspiring experience, that's for sure.
Awesome. So now, what was the name of that album?
The album is called Double Life by Cathrine Levan, and it was released in 2020. I also in 2020 released a Christmas EP called, what was it? The Joy of Christmas.
Okay, very nice. So people can find that on all the regular spots like Spotify and
CD Baby, Spotify, Deezer, like all of the streaming platforms carry it.
Right. So are you a solo performer?
I am. I do. I have musicians that I prefer to work with, but yes, it is. I am a solo performer.
And are you a traveling performer? Like, I know COVID has caused a lot of issues for a lot of performers, but if it wasn't for COVID, would you have been traveling?
Yes. Well, I did one. I opened for Will Donato. He's a well-known sax player in California, and he asked me to open for him. And I'll be doing another concert with him and another concert with Wally Larson, who's also a sax player. He's a Canadian. Okay. And so I'll be doing a few gigs, throughout the year. But I'm very select, how many gigs or where I do them, because I've had friends who went out, performed, and then got COVID. And that wrecked the rest of their year. So I'm, very careful about where I go.
Good for you. Yeah. Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Vancouver.
Okay. I wasn't sure because you're from Saskatchewan originally. Is that right?
I am. Well, I was born in Winnipeg and never lived there, but sort of moved my way west. Right. So went from Manitoba to Saskatchewan, then we moved to Alberta, and then I moved to Vancouver.
All right. So now is music your whole career now, or do you have another job?
I do have another job. I'm helping manage another musician. Right. And also I am working with a new company called LifeLock Bioscience, and they have this wickedly good product called T2D, which is good for helping people with type 2 diabetic. Okay. And it helps them balance blood sugar. So I just love that. And I have a sister who's diabetic, which really got me going on this. And I love their product. So I'm their investor relations and their marketing VP. So
how long have you been doing that?
That I've just been doing for a year.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's a startup company, so they're getting ready to launch nationally, and then North America.
I think that's funny to not funny. I think that's wonderful to start with a startup company.
Mm.
So you get to travel, in a sense, travel by opening, I mean, right, with them, and that's pretty cool.
Well, what's beautiful about it is, my history previously was in branding, and so I get to help build the brand from the bottom up. The other thing about startup companies is it's a lot of sweat equity.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Not going to get rich anytime soon.
Part of the way it goes, right?
The life of an artist, right?
Is your sister also an artist?
I have three sisters. One of them is Melanie Chartrand, and she is a musician, and she's won awards. She's won nice. Songwriting competitions, and actually one of her songs, Colorblind, which is about racism, won an award and was put in a all Best of Canada music book, right alongside Gordon Lightfoot. So that was a really very, very cool thing to happen. My two other sisters do sing. I mean, we grew up in the church. Mom and dad were ministers. So we were always on a Sunday, the four of us doing some sort of quartet, making up our own harmonies and such. And it was kind of fun. So we all still sing, but Melanie and I actually make a living at it. So that's nice.
Yeah, that is really nice. So one of the things I think about every musician so far that I've met, they're very generous with each other.
Yes.
If you meet another musician, you're willing to share the stage. And is that your take on it?
Oh yeah, more the merrier. The bigger the party, the more fun you have. No, and I've had some really, that's one of the things growing up I really got a good sense of, was because every Friday night we'd have a jam session that people would just show up. And my dad would have a banjo, and we had a piano, and there'd be a flute or a guitar or whatever. You never knew what was going to show up or who was going to show up. And there's you were always encouraged to just pick up an instrument and make a noise. Didn't matter what it was or how good you were. So, whether I'm jamming with well-known artists or jamming with people who don't know more than a C and a G, I don't care. It's the joyful noise that you want to make, and just express yourself and give it a try. You never know what's going to, that's the one thing that Steve had said to me when I was like freaking out when he threw my list in the air. I was like, ah, and he says, no, trust me, just take a leap of faith here and just, get to work. And so I did. I just went, okay, well, I, of my own self, I can do nothing here, but with help. And Wally, my brother-in-law, is a really excellent sax player, and he played on my songs as well. And it was like being in the presence of amazing musicians. It made me raise my level.
Yes. Okay.
So that gave me the confidence that, well, I can't do any better than being surrounded by excellent musicians. So I know what it's like to be on the bottom, and I know what it's like to be in the top. And so it's a wonderful experience all the way around. Very
good. So I imagine now, or I'm just assuming that you're constantly writing.
I am. It's funny how sometimes these things, they just jump into your head and they won't leave me alone until I write them down. So, and then other songs, I'll just say, I need a Christmas song. And then all of a sudden, pow, something will pop into my head. In 5 minutes, I got the whole song. So it's funny how it works. Sometimes they take a lot of work, and other times they take no work at all.
So are you preparing to put out another album?
I am actually. I'm preparing a Christmas album, and I'm preparing another contemporary jazz album. It's also adult contemporary, so it's a blend of the two. And I've got one song. I had a bit of an interruption. I'd recording earlier this year, and I had it pretty much done, but I got this really bad cough
Uh,
and I couldn't finish the recording. So it's sitting there right now. And I just found out I have walking pneumonia. So yeah, so I've had to pare down my activities down to nothing
right.
and just try to rest and get rid of this, So it's been an interesting journey, 17 days of being completely bedridden and not good, not fun at all.
Wow.
But I finally got out of bed yesterday and I can feel it today. So I'll be heading to bed soon too.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. And I really appreciate you doing this and not feeling well. So it's even more important, but because you need to sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm at the I finished the antibiotics. So, I mean, there's only so much modern medicine can do for you. The rest of it is just time and rest.
Yeah. And that means a lot to me that we're still able to, get up in front. And then I know you were having problems at the beginning getting on Zoom. So
yeah,
but you're still here. So I really appreciate that.
I'm here.
It's all good. By the way, do you have a website?
I do. It's catlevan.com.
Nice and simple. So I'll make sure that I share that. So I'm going to cut this short just so I know that you need to get to bed. But you can come back on the show anytime.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Not a problem. I hear you coughing, and again, it's just wonderful that you still did this. So just stay there while I just say goodbye to the audience and thank you, everybody. I hope you appreciate Kat coming on the show with having, what did you call it? Walking pneumonia? Is that what
it's called walking pneumonia. Yeah.
Never heard that.
It's kind of a dangerous thing because you don't feel well, but you don't feel sick enough to go to bed. So what happens is you keep going and then you end up, you can die from it. And so that's why I spent 17 days just laying on my back, watching Netflix and falling asleep and watching Netflix and falling asleep is the best medicine, rest.
All right. Well, hopefully this will make you feel good too. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you will check out her Kat's website and look for her music and support her that way because all musicians need support. Well, we all need it, whatever.
Everybody needs support. Yeah.
Yeah. So be nice, be kind, everybody, and finally peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.